Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
You are
Good
welcome.
evening.
Thank you so much.
The lecturer is around, is in the room, and is soon starting to lecture. So let's just be around. We can introduce ourselves as we are waiting for him to come in the room. Thank you. Yes, Ivan Magola, are you present?
I'm present, sir. I'm present.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, I've been sharing. That's why I'd given it some time for other people to join. But as we start, we can introduce ourselves briefly, and you tell us what you do, your area, so that able to see how we run this course. So I'm not sure of the number of people who are going to join, but introduce ourselves.
Thank you. I'm Aderu James, doing public administration. I work in Parliament of Uganda. I am the chairperson of the cooperative in Eastern Uganda. I try to manage the cooperative's activities in Eastern Uganda. Thank you so much. Yes, colleagues, let's introduce
Properly.
ourselves.
You're breaking. I don't know.
Yes, sir, you have not got me.
Yeah, you are breaking. I couldn't hear you.
I was saying my name's Aderu James. I work in Parliament of Uganda. I try to manage the cooperative in Eastern Uganda. So I deal mostly in cooperative as well. And I do postgraduate in public administration. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
Yes, colleagues who
Another
are
person?
present.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, colleagues. This is Henry Drago doing public procurement
If
and working with United Nations in the field of logistics. Thank you.
all right.
Hello, good evening, colleagues.
Good evening
Good
to
evening.
you.
Yeah, my name is Ajobe Denny
Good evening
from
to you.
Arua. I am doing postgraduate diploma in all governance and management. And currently I'm not working. I'm a hustler within Arua.
Any person? There is Brian, there is Dennis, there is Ivan.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Ewudu Brian. I'm a legal officer working with the Ministry of Defense and Regional Affairs.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, good evening, everyone. This is Ogom Dennis from
Good evening to
Amolata.
you.
I'm Ogom Dennis from Amolata. I'm currently home, farming, actually. That is what I can say.
Good evening, members. My name is Simon Mwewesa. I'm doing a postgraduate diploma in oil and gas. I work with Uganda People's Defense Forces.
Good evening.
Members who are joining.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, colleagues. My name is Magola Ivan. I'm doing Masters in Public Administration and Management. I'm a human rights defender and a law activist. I'm working with Uganda Wildlife Authority in Pianupe National Park.
is no power. So I think other on the chat, you can. So my name is Jackson Amali. So attendance is going to carry 5 marks. Then participation, we're supposed to have at least 2. Is going to constitute 15%. So that one, coursework attendance participation will be 40%. So that is the mode of assessment for this. Then at postgraduate level, we encourage and then they present. So I'm going to introduce the first topic today. But next Friday, I'm going to group up our topics to each and every group. So each group will present up to 4 or 5, depending on the topics that we have. But the presentation, they can start. So team, and then when it comes to presentation, you have to divide the parts. Then after presentation,
Yes, sir. You are coming in the cuts.
on what
I
has
don't
been
know
presented, whether
I was also wondering whether
the challenge is,
we are not hearing you. You are breaking a lot.
can you hear me or you're not hearing me?
You are coming in bits, disappear on and off, so the whole information is not flowing well.
Coursework due to 40% of the marks. That is the basis of assessment. Then exam will be marked out of. We're going to create a group depending on the topics that we have, and each group is supposed to do some research, and then they present their work to other members. Then after it, I will also comment. Then after the groups are supposed to make a final write-up members, and it will be examined, because whatever write up the group, and it can form the basis of assessing the student. Like out of 15, get that 15%. 10%, 15 marks, depending which has remained, can come assignment. I know postgraduate students, most of them are working. So they fear tests. Sometimes they have test 1 and then test 2, which are always issued. By the registrar. So we also we can have an assignment, individual assignment, maybe take time to do the test, or you can even have 3, because our provision as for either 2 tests and then 1 assignment, such that if you miss 1 test, you can have your marks, because we need at least 2 tests, either 2, 3, such that everybody is covered. Because if you have one, that will affect you. Sometimes they may not allow you to see it if you have the missing coursework marks. So that we are going to have is we are going to award marks to the groups depending on how they are presented, because it's like an assignment, but in this particular case it is a group assignment where you're going to research as a group. So it's awarded 15 marks, this presentation, which you are going to group people. Then after that, you can either have a test or an assignment to make a complete marks for coursework. So final exam will come at the end of it, where I will assess what we have covered based on what we have presented. So there is nothing which is brought outside what is not covered. So everything that is covered is what is brought in the exam. So that is how we're going to have this class. That you want to ask before we introduce the topic. Screen, but one of the concerns is this topic, when you look at my page, there are many programs which are under it. They are doing different programs. So under public finance management, we have project finance management, we have financial management. That's why I wanted to know the background of each and every one, such that I'm able to structure it according to the needs of everybody. Financial management. Because that introduction in this study, and then we can proceed. So financial management, companies or organization raise and allocate financial resources to achieve the objectives of the company, or to achieve the objectives of the company or of the farm. So things like it covers areas like managerial finance, where managers, if you're a manager, you need to handle things to do with budgeting. As a manager, resource allocation, finance, which involve how you plant investment decision finance, where you're looking at how we're looking at finance planning. We look at finance control those resources. So that is basically what financial management means. Then also still financial resources and allocate them to achieve the objectives, but normal functioning of finance activities within an organization. For example, if somebody is working as a treasurer, maybe of a circle, a treasurer of an organization is still within the function of financial management. So someone is supervising delicacy under financial management. Then custody and safeguard of valuable resources such as investment. Example, when you look at finance, the one responsible of all the valuable resources or documents, including one falls still within the function of financial management. Then in other cases, in an organization, still for finance management. You can be doing the work of accounting, but still accounting is also part of finance. Then still in a narrow sense, can also be looking at record decision making. Still, especially, so those ones still fall within the financial. First was branch of economics until it came as a separate entity, development of businesses. But previously in the past, before 1890 came a bit earlier and had incorporated a financial management. Then management is also
Excuse me, sir.
also aligned to the objective of the business organizations is to create wealth for the business. So for you to create wealth for the business, you have to make sure that you handle financial resources very well. So
Yes, sir. We are not hearing.
Challenge is the network, which is not clear. That's why I log off briefly. So, which is not clear. So this is where I'm seeing decisions. That is how. So financing decisions involve where you're going to get the money for the business. Are you going for the loan? Are you going for bond? Are you going to save, or are you finance the business? So one of the things that finance managers do, dividends, are decisions whether to distribute. Some James talked of circles. Like circles can decide whether to distribute the dividends to the members after getting the retained earnings, after getting the profits, or they can plow back the money into the business. So those are then also it's to provide an adequate return on investment amid this the risk involved, a lot of risk. The risk can be categorized organization. Let me share again. Is on investment. When you are investing, you need to do investment appraisal. So in our next lessons that we can have, because the business environment in which most businesses operate involved risk. And I said this risk and the systematic risk, these are risks that are in the business environment. You don't have control over it, affect business operation. So can also affect the plans of the business. But we have to invest which are within the organization. Maybe we have insightful decision for the organization. They can affect the performance. Then also financial management also give decisions, for example, investment decision, investment appraisal. Then you have the financing decisions where you look at the sources of funds and how you can make them. We have the financing mix where you're going to have the capital structure, you're going to have what composition of debts are you going to have in respect to equity. Because Because if you have more debts, you are going to be under pressure to pay for the interest on capital. This is the resources or money that we need to run the daily activities of the business. We need to be serving them, having deliveries within delivery of goods to customer as the business keeps going. So you need working capital at business. Then the dividends, the business, a company where there are shareholders, the shareholders in form of reward to them like dividends, or you want to plow back the profit that has been made without declaring dividends. So such decisions are within the financial management. Then under finance functions, still we have to do finance planning, where you have to analyze. Maybe after getting, you have to look at how you're going to get capital allocations, how you're going to do risk assessment, as I told you. You're going to do risk assessment because if you invest, there are some capital investment which takes a lot of money. So it becomes like a sunk cost. Once you invest in such a full allocation, you'll be dealing with cash flow and forecast you're going to earn if you invest in such appraisal. You have to be using the investment appraisal tools like the payback period. Yes, is it going to take for you to recover investments you are invested in the business? Then the financing decision you're going to put in the business. Then capital market operations, you have to be in bond and debentures, all those market securities that are traded in the capital market benefit from them. So that is within the function. Then we have finance control. So you need to have some control measures in place such that you are able to track. This involves also areas of monitoring and also makes adjustment on maybe budgets. You look at what you are doing, maybe a quarterly in March. If your financial year starts from January, then by April to see the actual budget, and then so that's financial control. You want to see whether you are working according to the plan. Then you look at the variance analysis. You want to know how far have you deferred from the actual budget. What are your moving at a faster rate? Are you spending the money variance, or are you still have money within that? And look at how you're going to sweep resources from other areas where there's still money to other areas. So all this depends on the factors, because you can start 4,000 or 5,000, but right now it's going to 6,000. So there is that already a rate of 1,000 ahead of. So you need to look at the performance metrics that you have set under this financial control, the financial management, and as a manager, you may not be a finance director, but you are the head of department, you are working the procurement, or you are working in any other HR. You need to understand this as what they mean. Then financial objectives can be, these are people who bring their money into the business and they want to get it. So they are the owners of the company, or they hire other people to work with the agency, the principal agency relationship, the agency theory, where the owners of the business and then the agents, the managers, and then the employees that are employed of market share. So like the Chinese market, they are bringing cheap products for them. They don't mind. They just assess the market and they know the income position of people, and then they supply the products. So they want to cheaply, but they want to maximize the sales revenue, or they want to get the market share. They're already in Africa from the Chinese. Objectives, like as a firm or a business, is to minimize costs. So yeah, as a firm or as a company, as a business, you have to minimize the cost of purchases and then of cost of operations that the expenses or ratio should be matched. In other businesses can be 40 to 60, others will be can be 60 industry that you're operating, but the operations of the business. Then when you are valuing the performance of an organization, you can look at the financial performance indicators and then the non-financial performance. And this non-financial objectives, they are very important for the success of the company. When you are not motivating your employees, you are not doing anything to do with the customer satisfaction. You don't have the feedback or after sales service to collapse, because competitors are there. So how you serve the customer matters. Customers in marketing, they said a satisfied customer is more important than is the best advertiser. So If the customers are satisfied with your product that you give to them, then they will be able to do better for the company. So your objectives can be to maximize the satisfaction. Talking about enhancement of social responsibility of the farm. You have to be analyzing how you work with the community. Are you participating in community activities? Are you like in accounting? These days they have introduced social governance, and as a company, you have to see the effects of your activities on the environment, on the social well-being of the people around there. Then when it comes to governance issues, you also need to see in the company, are you gender sensitive in the company? And if the board of directors for the company are males and then females incorporated. So those are the things that people are looking at. Other objectives, non-financial objectives that can also be important is growth. If you're operating a hardship time where things are not moving the right way to survive, are you going to expand in the next 3 to 4 years and sustain? Even the employees, they can say, much as we are suffering now, things are going to improve. Then other non-financial objectives can business. There are businesses that are operating at a break-even point. They are either not making profit, and they are not making profit, and they are not making losses. They are just meeting the operational costs, and they are doing in business. But you can only be in this kind of business when there is expectation of opportunity, that you are following up a process with the bank to boost the finances of the organization. Then you can be at that part at the financial management. So as see how they work. So is there any addition that you want to add? Any contribution? Any comment? Any question? So if there are no questions, I'll proceed. Still we continue with non-financial. So as a manager or as a departmental head within an organizations due to competition. So as of the course of things that you can pursue as an object, providing top quality service to customers at this, providing top quality. So that is a non-financial objective, but said earlier, maintaining respect to environment. If you are manufacturing companies, where do you dump your waste? Does your waste affects the environment? Or is your up to the area? So you need to have that But then other things, how the organization of the company. Then, much as they said, the main objective of an organization is, there are other critics that have come up to dispute this claim that much as the profit maximization is for the organization, it has been criticized on this ground that it assumes a perfect competition. So a perfect competition is that the kind of market where the informations are available to all people in the market, so sales can be made anywhere. They said the company is able to compete. But now when you look, people are new, people are having their all information about the market, or you are not going to be selling alone. Other people will come. Even if you go to a place alone, you can work for 3-4 months, then other people come. So you may not even maximize profit. So in this case, they said production of goods and services are wasteful. If you want to maximize profit, you can produce wasteful products because you want to sell as much as possible and then you're just wasting. And can also lead to income inequality. For example, if you sometimes a monopoly, they are the only sole supplier of a particular products. Nobody else is be more richer than others. So you can look at some of the examples of the products within Uganda where they operate almost like a monopoly. And in other cases where a company maybe wants to operate like a monopoly, the government comes to take over such activities to run on behalf of the citizens. Then under that, they say profit maximum, and it's not a risk. So they said, if you are not even think at what time you're going to get back the money that you have put in there, at over trading, as we go along, a situation where you do a lot of too much sales without control, and at the end of it, you start operating. You are not able to meet. This will be on tension every time you are going to run to the bank. Also ignoring risk. Most businesses, you need to, especially capital expert, you need to do risk analysis before you still under profit maximization. The critics said it is not clear based on theory. Then they said there's return received in different periods. Because if you are maximizing profit, you tend to inject time and again, and you don't know that the money you invested today, at what period are you going to get it, or you cannot easily tell that the money I injected, you have been having a rapid. Then at this particular holders of an organization, so as a finance manager or a head of department, you have to know the different stakeholders of your company. Who are your stakeholders? So the stakeholders of a company can be, so all these stakeholders, they have their own own demand, their own interest that the organization has to satisfy. For example, the managers or the directors, the managers may be interested in their bonuses. At the end of the year, they want the director, the investors, the ordinary shares. They also want dividends at the end of the year. That is their interest. They want to see the performance of the company. So their interest, like the community at large, they want to know your relationship with them. Are you spoiling the environment? Are you mistreating the people you have employed yet you have got from the community? There, are you paying them low? Are you concerned? Are you supplying quality products to them? So you need to understand their interests and see how to address them. Then the company employees, they want to be paid well, and then they want to be motivated in different ways as they do the work. Then other stakeholders, our products. So they want the quality, they want timely delivery. They want us to on their complaints. Then finance providers, banks, loans, and be assured whether we're going to pay back the loan we have taken or we are not going to pay the interest. So those are the stakeholders of an organization. Then the suppliers, they're also interested in whether we are going to keep getting goods from them or we are not able to buy from them. Or if we get goods on credit from them, are we able to pay back in time? Stakeholders includes the government. So the governments are interested in the regulatory required. Are you paying NSSF? Are you following other regulations? Like maybe NEMA and other stakeholders depends on the organization to understand these stakeholders for the company, and how you deal with each stakeholder is important. Even in other cases can be other non-governmental organization, other NGOs can also be the stakeholders as long as you do a with them. For example, if you are running maybe an institution like stakeholder, like an NGO where you can share experience or you take student for you can also take some lecturers to give facilitation to those NGOs, maybe teaching the community like that. So those are the stake under this. So is there any question about this or addition? So, well, at this point, we can also look at the relationship between the principal and then the agent. So the principal, these are the owners of the companies, the people who employ others to do the work. So the agents, these are the employees who are employed by the company to do the work on behalf of the owners of the companies. So or a misunderstanding or a different businesses. So this is where much as the owners of the business, but the people interest that they want to achieve. Managing director may want the bonuses, they want high compensations. That is their interest. Others can even be small risk, and the higher the risk. So sometimes, as the owner of the business, want to risk in that, in the they don't want to take investment that will bring up return. The interest, the management, and then the interest owner in the organization. For example, the shareholders and the managers. The shareholders want to maximize profit, but the managers, they want to invest in less risky investment, and then they don't maximize the profit. So that one is already a conflict of interest. Then the shareholders and then the bondholders, they also want to see who gets maybe dividends, who gets paid earlier than the others. So all this will result into a conflict that can affect the operations of the business. Still tries to deal with the two specific problems, how to align the goals of the principal. If there's a company which has spent, so the goals of these directors should be clearly they have three layers of also management. We have the AGM, which is the supreme body. Then we have the supervisory board, we have the board of directors, and then the managers. So all these, their goals, individual goals, should be aligned. What does the supervisory board of a circle does? What does the board of a circle does? So, and then what are the roles of management? Like within credit can be the manager or the CEO, procurement, aid, finance, then internal audit. Those are the common, maybe risk. So all these, their roles should be aligned such that they're able to manage or for the organization to achieve its objectives. So all these have to be reconciled. Then the other relationship I've already talked to. About is between the stockholders or for example, I can give you like a the members who contribute their money to manage. What is their relationship? Are they contented with how they get the service delivery? If they apply for the loan, do they pay them within time? Are they contented with the services that are being offered to them? If they present the financial statement in the annual general meeting, I provide. So those are the kind of things that you access of the between the debt holders, the people the company borrowed money from, and then the owners of the company who is supposed to be paid. fast. So those should be a solution out the organizations. Managers may also perform any of the following goals against the wish of the principal. Maximize his own wealth. All the owners of the companies is pursuing, and also play safe and create just satisfactory wealth. What I said earlier as taking low risk investment. You find he just want to survive. He doesn't want to do things that can risky thing that can bring more return, but they want to just create satisfactory wealth. This. So all this happens in different organizations. So still, they can even avoid taking or because they don't want to be on pressure of paying the interest. They want to get business. So others, they just want to destroy the company. They don't want the company to survive for a long time. They can do a lot of mismanagement and then they leave. So these are some of the intention of different managers that handle organizations. Much as they employ them, they said we expect ABC from you, but still they have their own goals that they want to this agency. They have their own interests that they want to pursue, which is different from the interests of the owners of the business. Or as the owner of the company, you need to see how you can motivate managers or employees to act in your best interest. You have to increase their pay, maybe capacity building they go for, or that you can improve the working environment, which can motivate also have interest in them. And then shareholders. So you have to handle them. Can be through even disciplinary, those one who have you have the policies, the HR policies and other policies within the organizations. You can handle them and good for the company and those one who have bad attitude for the companies. In other cases, you can also threaten them that if you cannot manage to bring another company to take over. So they don't want other companies to take over that their company. So that issue of buying off of the company, they may not work. Then they are going to either, or is coming with its own structure that may either lay some of the employee off or even lay all of the employees off, and then they have then they have their own staff to run the affairs. So as the shareholders, you can this project or this company, well, we can overhaul and we bring, or we can sell it off, then other companies will take over. So those are the things that we can handle and as a way to mitigate the urgency. Motivating is managerial compensations, money, or others can be direct intervention by
Yes, sir. We are not hearing from you. Is anyone hearing from the lecturer? Yes, Ivan.
No, James, no.
I think the network is making him be.
So I'm back now. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir. You got lost completely. But at least we have heard a voice from you now.
Or firing. Said if you can't perform, then we have to bring other people on board. Then also take over. Sometimes if you said if you cannot manage, then you have to bring other people. How you can handle is our principle. So we are going to have another, but this is again now another topic under our financial management. So is there any question before we continue with this?
Yes, sir. Only sometimes you become too low and we cannot hear you. But otherwise, we are good to go. The problem is, I think the network from either where you are, we hardly hear you. At times, the words are not heard and comes on and off like that. I don't know, maybe my colleagues are also the same or they are.
No, the challenge is network.
Right.
Work today is not good, and I'm using area. So I don't have a strong network, but this is another thing that this one works mostly for people who are in profit-making organizations, who are in business. So overtrading, this is a situation where a business expands too, it will put a strain on finances. So the business will keep expanding too fast, which means company expands its own operation too quickly, too aggressively. So it's not able to meet to recover the money that they are put in the business. It can expand, but now when we talk about how you manage your working capital, when we are going to do the financial and issue that you are going to be having. If you have too much working capital, the capital remains idle. Again, when you maybe inventory, slow moving inventory, the stock. So over trading is sometimes referred to as to expand too faster. So it will have capital. You find much of the money So network is disturbing me seriously, but you have to bear with me. So I've talked about overtrading. Then these are the causes, some of the causes of overtrading. You find there is a rapid growth in business development and sales. So if you see you are doing that without control, then you are likely to fall into overtrading. Having large amount of unpaid vendors, you have not paid your suppliers, but you are in business, but you've got many stock on credit, and you are not able to pay the suppliers. Then financial interest expenditure, loans from the banks or other financial institutions that will affect your performance. So it can come as a result of maybe poor management practices or inefficient management of an organizations, where people are not analyzing before they invest. They're just planning, investing without considering the effects of the operations. Others can be keen market competitions. You find your competitors or aggressive competitors you in stock or in minute such that your capital is get harder money to invest. Then so I was talking about running business with limited knowledge, where when you admire a kind of business, you need to first generate some knowledge how it works. But if you maybe said, I want hardware, most people say they want to start hardware, they don't have any knowledge about how the hardware business runs. So you need to first do analysis and get some knowledge on how you're going to run the business. Then other thing can be caused by having a cash flow problems. You are not having enough money to run there's all liquidity issues, realistic budgets. Your budget has to be realistic and it has to be smart so that you are able to measure it and able to achieve it reliably. Then remedies, how do you handle this? You need to improve on the working capital management. So how do you maintain enough stock, maintain some cash such that you are able to pay the debtors or pay the creditors as they come or run the daily operations of the business. So working capital management means handling inventory. You have inventory control. You know the minimum level, you know the maximum level, you know the reorder level, at what point you reorder at the inventory. Then under working capital, you also have to measure the receivable. How do you manage your debtors, people who have your money? How long do they take to pay you? So you need to see the receivable period should be having a shorter period. So I was talking about the last point, that you need to be aware of the indicators of this overtrading as a remedy to solve this overtrading. Other solution is to secure additional funding. If possible, you can secure additional funding to bail you out of the current situation that you are in. Then other areas is to scale down the operation or scale down growth properly. You have to pause on the rapid growth and then you scale back growth temporarily, such continue. Overtrading, if you have a business and you're experiencing fast, expanding too fast, but you need from the bank. So it is continuously getting small profit. My signs include late payments of customers having a long period. You have given the debtors or receivables a long period that they are not able to pay you. Then other suppliers are getting nervous. They're now quarreling because you are taking long to pay them, or you have breach the agreement that you made with them. So they're now not trusting you. So it could be a sign of overtrading. Then you also have the increasing credit sales. So most of the sales that you are making, they are on credit. And then the people who have taken it on credit, they don't you back within time. Corresponding increase in profits. Paying, then increasing inventory days. You buy stocks, but people take long to come, customers take long to come and take them. So your money is tied up in the stock and you are not able to meet these other obligations of the business or run the business as it's supposed to be. Then increasing an excessive reliance on trade payables. maybe you have some loyal people who are able to supply you materials on credit and then you pay them late. But some of them, they also get nervous as you delay to pay them. Then also have the liquidity issues. You don't have cash at hand or cash in hand or cash at bank. You don't have, your account is empty, you can only go for overdraft. So those are the signs of is there any comment that you want to make? In addition, any contribution, any experience that you want to share?
I think in over to that, it is not good to you to start any business without your own capital, so that you can realize the growth. Because if you start with the borrowing, you'll find that at the end of the day, you will not grow. And for instance, like the banker will come and take whatever you have got, including even demanding some of the interest that you could have got. In regard with knowledge, I think you
that's
should
right.
be also.
James, I lost you.
I think maybe the network I was talking about adding something on it. Basically, on the side of the bank, if you are not really well equipped with any business and you are willing maybe to get some money from the bank, you should be having somebody to stand with you in order to manage, to use the resources that you have gotten from the bank. Because from there, that's when you are going to gain through the person who are with you. That is how one can maybe try to catch up with any other business which he wants to start with.
So that is how you can study the problem and then see how to address it. Because when you just enter a business without realizing how it works, then you can run into over save your own money. When you are going for the debts now, it will come just to support the business. You cannot go to get a loan and then you start the business. If you are doing like that, you can start small, put some money aside. If you have maybe 10 million, you can pass it aside and you see how you are going to progress. That one, in case you want to use the loan to start a business. But in most cases, you should first raise some money, then you start small. By the time you get the loan, it's just to boost you up. So this is also still under this. We have overcapitalizations. This one again refers to raising more capital by issue of shares or debentures or through long-term loans than is warranted. You raise a lot of money, so the company is over-capitalized. So when the company is over-capitalized and then there are no sufficient profits to pay the interest or pay dividends as a profit, then it will have a problem, or equity. And then have low return on investment because you have idle capital, too much capital that you can invest. Then the effects can lead to a decline in the market value of shares. So it can result into what is called diluted earning per share. So the value of the shares will reduce, and it will also increase the financial risk of the business. And still, you cannot invest all this money at a go. So you can still, even if you have raised more capital of shares or debentures or with reduced profit or low return on investment, as I said. So that is also another thing that you can talk about as you plan the business. The issue of raising too much capital than you can invest there and affects you as a business. So causes is like you have raised more capital than is needed for the business. So you have too much money that you don't even know how you're going to invest, that you cannot even invest them together. So on business acquisitions, for example, you can buy a business expensively when it is not going to work, or after buying it does not work, or you fail to manage it either due to external problem or internal problem in management. So you find you have the head of operations, you are not making profits there, what you have invested in the business. So other things include acquisition of assets, maybe plant, property, plant and equipment during a boom period, a period of high level of economic activity. So a period when there is high level of economic activity, but certainly people go to a recession period where there are low level of economic activities. So the plant, the machinery, the equipment that you purchase becomes idle, it's not working activity. So you find you have equipment that are highly valued, but level of economic activities are taking place. So it will result in what is called overcapitalization. Then in other cases, this is more of accounting, is lack of sufficient provision for depreciations and replacement of assets. You can have assets which have already reduced in the value or the productive value, but is still rated highly, yet it cannot perform effectively due to the wear and tear resulting from depreciation. So assets which are not depreciated can also cause overcapitalization. You can value your company highly, yet this asset, if they had been depreciated, they would have reduced the value. It can even be a software which is not amortized, because now amortization is a term which is used for like a depreciation on software or reduction in the value of software. We use amortization. Then depreciation is used for the wear and tear of tangible assets. So you can have a software that is no longer providing quality work, but you still put highly, yet it should have been amortized so that the correct value is matched with the value of the company. Then other areas include payment of high rate of taxations, where you're paying too much taxes on the operations, and which is affecting your operations. Then when the promoter underestimates the capitalization rate, so they have not analyzed properly how they are going to raise the capital for the company. So it can result into over capitalization. Of view of the company, that it can result into a reduction in the rate of dividends for the equity shared issued. Since you are not making profit, you're not making high profit, there's low return on investment. It means also the amount of, so even dividend, the market value of shares will also reduce. So when the diluted earning per share, it means the market value of shares has also reduced, because investors, they put their money in where they're expecting high return, they're expecting high profit, so that they get high returns on investment or high dividends on that. Then in other cases, can result to window dressing. Is just a term in accounting where the company presents its financial statements to look more genuine or more transparent or more appeasing, more pleasing to the shareholders by putting a figure which are forged, yet in the actual sense, it is not a true reflection of what is in the company. So they can use the operations. So sometimes it can result into liquidation. So the company can wind up because they have things which they cannot run properly. If you continuously make losses of investors or serious investors will pull out of the business. Then other people in the company will have no option but to wind up the business. Then also, how does the society look at an overcapitalized company? So it's an indication, and the quality will be will be charging highly because they want to make profit, yet the product. So a company may also try to workers' wages. So others can reducing on the number of workers so that they try to survive. But all these can affect the industrial already taken away. I also start, so it will demoralize the workers, and then they are not able to even look at the company. Others can even shift their demand from the company if they see their employment members are being taken back to the community because the company cannot manage to pay them. Then they can also boycott the company's product and go for the alternative products. So with you're already capitalized and you're not performing well, you cannot compete with other companies. So you may have to businesses that were so powerful, but slowly they started closing down and they went down. They are not longer in business. Maybe resulting into misapplication of the company may come from the community, the society. So if it is not properly handled and is being wasted, then they are wasting the resources from the community. Then others can also affect their performance in form of social corporate community. They cannot do community work. They cannot sponsor any sport. They cannot sponsor anything that the community can benefit from because they don't have the money to do that. Yet in modern business, it is necessary to have a social corporate responsibility program. So it can also affect them maybe if maybe as we wind up, because we are going to shareholders
Yes, sir, we are not getting you completely. I think the network on your side has really failed. I don't know whether you are getting us. Yes, sir. This lecture today.
Barbara, are you going to say something?
So you are not clear. I don't know whether it's me. We are not getting you completely. Yes, sir.
I'm saying we have then as I discuss analysts and then share with you. So if I cannot be heard now because even my battery is also going off for the laptop because there's no power.
Right.
Things we can discuss on WhatsApp.
It's okay, sir.
Yeah.
Otherwise, have a nice evening and good night at the
All
same
right.
time.